But certainly we saw their pace attack in Australia do really well, and they're very talented all round with the ball. So for batters here, more so as you go around the world nowadays, everyone's got a good pace attack, you would say. And so that's crucially important to prepare for both the confronting with the new ball and perhaps a reverse ball with the seam, and spin in the middle, and probably the seam is being able to do a very good holding job. So your skill level has to be very, very high, and playing out here in the humidity and heat in Chennai, you have to be very fit and very switched on. I think this varies from player to player. I think some this will be their first tour to India. Some would have been here quite a few times, so that's the knack of it, if you like. And so there's different things, different messages, and it's about building relationships with players that I previously perhaps haven't worked with as much as others. So the message varies from player to player, but the fundamentals of playing in India are pretty much the same. Big runs early on, first innings like anywhere else, but in India it's really, really important. And playing spin and having your own method and being able to execute that under pressure is probably the most important things. I remember watching that series, and I think there were some flat wickets, I think, in Chennai that was quite high scoring. But I think perhaps you've got to score more than opposite. Again, first inning, I think you've got to be free and win the. So that second innings, you're ahead of the game a little bit. Trying to play catch up or behind the 8 ball in India is always tough, and being so good in their own conditions. So making sure you start whether it's with bat or ball, and all your chances, you've got to be clinical in the when fielding. Make sure all those catches and or run out opportunities. So your all-round game has to be really good, and I think that's just the focus at the moment is to be ready come Friday. Whether it's with that first ball bowling or facing up to that first delivery. That's I don't think you learn from your lessons, but perhaps you don't carry them with you. I'd say that's basically what the guys have been speaking about. Certainly babyface still, you wouldn't say he's played 100 test matches from compared to the other sort of crow's feet that guys get from playing so much cricket in the sun. But I wouldn't say surprised one bit. I think that tour he came in the warm-up games, he certainly impressed everybody, not only by his skill, but the way that he conducted himself and trained. For somebody who hadn't really played international cricket or was new to the side, and gone from strength to strength. I think the way that he leads and the way he leads by example, the way that he still has a passion for the game and the desire to improve, I think that rubs off on everyone. And England are very lucky to have a player like him leading, you would say, as captain, but able to bat in the middle order like he does. No, I think it's just hand in hand. I think they've got a lot of responsibility with the ball. Certainly captaining in India is a skill in itself with regards to the conditions and rotating bowlers and spinners. And he's done that really well. We saw how well he did that in Sri Lanka. And I think it goes hand in hand. It seems to be very natural to him, captaincy and decision making. Certainly has a great presence around the guys as well, and it's going to be a real challenge, I think, for everybody. But for Joe, full confidence in his ability with the bat and leading the boys. I know he's very excited about the series, and can't wait to get started. I think it is key, and it's always a luxury if you can, but you got to make sure you have the right options with the ball as well. And I think that takes perhaps paramount when it comes to winning test matches. And you're trying to find that balance all the time. So that's why someone like Ben Stokes adds that balance, and very lucky to have a player like him, whoever which all-rounder is playing. And yes, it is nice, but it's also, I would say, key for everybody to make sure that they have a good game plan as a batter, and make sure that they can chip in and hold up an end, even if you're down at the lower end of the order, understand what your role is. So working with those guys is always enjoyable for myself as a batting coach at the moment, and making sure that the guys are willing to are sort of ready to perform when called upon.